Friday.
Hey Aamir, what do you want me to do?
Okay, Friday. Change my costume. What? Get my setup ready.
Copy that. Now what?
Now, cue the music.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man. तूने चुराया मेरे दिल का चैन.
What's that song? Hey, not that one. The other one. Yeah, that's it. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man must step up to take on new threats in a world that has changed forever. Spider-Man Far From Home is the 23rd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. But now Spider-Man Far From Home is actually a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame. First of all, guys, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Big. Though I have my Spider-Man which is too small, but it's okay. But guys, I really love these three films. Those are classics for me. Amazing Spider-Man I really liked because it took Spider-Man into a new direction. It had a dark tone which was very different. But Amazing Spider-Man 2 I thought was an abomination against Spider-Man films. I have a discussion on that film on my channel. It was a collaboration video with my buddy Abhit Uppal A.K.A the Filmy Sardarji. Link in the description below. But guys, I really loved Spider-Man Homecoming and I wanted to revisit these characters for a long time. Spider-Man Far From Home is amazing, spectacular, powerful. Spider-Man Far From Home is one of the best MCU films to date and one of the best Spider-Man films. First of all, guys, this film focuses on Peter Parker going on a trip with all his friends, which reminded me of my school trip, and it was really fun to watch these characters go on a trip. But between that, we see that Peter Parker has to balance his Spidey life and his student life. Watching Peter Parker struggling and trying to balance out these two things is always a treat to watch. And I think John Watts directed all the action sequences in Spider-Man Homecoming very nicely. But in this film, he just exceeds it. There are so many scenes which show us that they put in their efforts to make these action sequences as exciting as possible. People had issues with Tony Stark being the mentor. Now there is no Tony Stark. There were people who said that there was a very low scale in Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a proper big budget blockbuster summer film, so that issue is done. So they have taken all the issues and turned them into positives in this film. Tom Holland is such a good actor. In Homecoming he did a good job, and in Infinity War and Endgame he was Peter Parker, but this is the first film where the script gives him so many opportunities to show his acting talent. And after watching this movie, I am like, Sony for once made the right decision of casting Tom Holland because he suits the character of Peter Parker. He gives a brilliant performance in this film, and I think there can be no next Peter Parker after Tom Holland. With that said, this is my Tom Holland impression. Mrs. Stark, I don't feel so good. I don't want to go.
Badass.
If you didn't like that impression, just wipe it out of your mind. Ugh. Let's talk about the new character that we see in this film, Mysterio. If you are a die-hard Spider-Man fan, you will know that Mysterio is the biggest and the most major character in the Spider-Man saga. But in this film, Spider-Man and Mysterio have to team up to take down these creatures called the Elementals, which give us some great action sequences. But Jake Gyllenhaal gives an inconceivable performance as Mysterio, and they take the character to another level, and you just know why Mysterio is a very major character in the Spider-Man saga. Jacob Batalon, Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Smulders, Jon Favreau, Marissa Tomei all give a really solid performance. But the main highlight here is Zendaya as MJ. You know, the dynamic we see between Tom Holland and Zendaya is so good. They make the character of Zendaya so unique and different. Her character is very different from MJ that we have seen in the first three films, or Gwen Stacy, which we have seen in the Amazing Spider-Man films. And the relationship between them is shown so sweet. Normally in films we are like, just get out the romance and let's go to the action sequences. But in this film, the action sequences and the romance and the story as a whole is all part of Peter Parker's journey, and we are on the journey with him. There is never a point in this film where you are bored or it takes a slow pace, because it is just a hell of a ride right from the beginning. You might be thinking I'm really praising this film because I am an MCU fan and a Spider-Man fan, but when you watch the movie you will find out that it is very difficult to find a negative in this film. First of all, I think there were some things that were done better in Homecoming. You know, in the last climax action sequence in this film, there were some things that I wanted to be done, but they didn't do that. But that's a personal nitpick. But if you're a Doctor Strange fan, there is an amazing sequence in this movie that will remind you of one scene from Doctor Strange. The scene was so brilliantly done. I was just blown away watching that scene. And I gotta say, Spider-Man Far From Home breaks the chain of Spider-Man movies. If you notice, the first 3 Spider-Man films have the climax action sequence in the night. The Amazing Spider-Man films also have the climax sequence in the night. I thought MCU would change that, but in Homecoming 2 we got climax action sequence in the night time. But in Spider-Man Far From Home we finally get a climax action sequence in the daylight, and it looked so amazing. So guys, how many stars would I give Spider-Man Far From Home out of 5? I would give this movie 4 out of 5. And guys, I appreciate that Sony Pictures did not spoil much from the movie in the trailers, because if you remember that there were like 3 or 4 trailers for Spider-Man Homecoming. They literally showed the whole movie. This film has spoilers that are Avengers Endgame level. So just watch this movie as soon as possible. Believe me, you don't know what you are going to experience in this film. And guys, please stay for the credit scene, because the end credit scene is one of the best in all of the MCU. But guys, if you like this video, please like and share this video, and please guys subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Aamir Spidey. Yes, I'm such a big Spider-Man fan that I have Spider-Man in my name on Instagram. But guys, always remember, wherever there are movies, there is Aamir. So guys, see you next time.